In terms of some of our three other panelists, in addition to four other panelists, in addition to in our overview, it's this issue of like these kind of like disruptive technologies have like really led to, and the disruptive technologies being like artificial intelligence, but also Internet of Things, digital revolution, all kinds of like ubiquitous computing, autonomous vehicles, drones, and so forth. They have been kind of picked up by the public sector, and public sector is kind of like running with them at a fast neck speed. But government is probably, as always, like lagging behind in terms of like really catching up and utilization of those resources for improving the government delivery of services. But also, I think government is also lagging behind in terms of like regulation of these technologies, and what are the ethical concerns and what are the issues that can arise because of these technological. So, for example, in my overview, I wrote about this, the Cambridge Analytica scenario that's well known, the Brexit and the US elections, the psychographic techniques that have been used by stealing millions of Facebook data accounts, but also sentiment analysis and social influence and political influence, micro-targeting of the ads in consumers, corporations are using micro-targeting of corporate ads more and more with the access to people's data sets. So those are some of the like ways that corporate sector has kind of like is running probably decades ahead of where the government stands now. And government has kind of like has been involved in some of these scandals with National Security Agency, NSA some of the data was revealed and some hackers came in. Some of the algorithms that were kind of like pioneered by NSA were actually released. So there are all these kind of issues. At the same time, if you look at like agencies like that corporations like Google, they have been kind of like running with this DeepMind AI application, and they had a DARPA project, but there has been a rebellion within the Google employees against these kind of, so because of the lack of ethical issues, because government has not really come up the evolution of these technologies. So government is in both kind of like a very interesting place here. First of all, they're lagging behind in terms of their own technology, this understanding this technology and adoption and utilization in the government services. But without that understanding, like what these technologies, disruptive technologies can do to the society, they're also lagging behind in terms of understanding like how to regulate those. So for example, as a result of the Cambridge Analytica, there were massive hearings in England and some of these like antitrust regulations in European countries, but the US hearings have not led to any meaningful regulation or any meaningful strategic pathway to move forward with this. So these are, I think, some of the issues and challenges that we thought that we will discuss together in the sense of like both challenges and opportunities that we have. So I think I just wanted to quickly point out that like some of the work that I've been doing myself in this space is more in terms of like harnessing AI technologies for social equity, infrastructure resilience, sustainable development. So how you can use computer simulation models. And some of that work was basically inspired by like what I learned from Bob Extel's earlier work and some of the pioneering work that they have done in terms of like building computer simulation models that can help you decide as like decision support systems, but also projections and so forth. So that is kind of like the broader scope of this workshop that we were hoping to kind of like go through in more detail.